Hello, I am Mike.
Hello, I am Lily.
Welcome to English Podcast Flow.
You know how sometimes you're listening to the news?
Or even just like chatting with friends and
Yeah.
suddenly you hear all these business words getting thrown around.
Yeah,
Strategy or market analysis,
totally.
it can feel a bit like a secret code almost.
It's true. And you might think, well, I'm not running a company, so
Yeah.
I don't need to know all that.
Right.
But actually, even if you don't work
Yeah.
in a traditional business setting,
Mm-hmm.
understanding this kind of language
Yeah.
can be surprisingly helpful in everyday life.
It's fascinating too because it's not just about big concepts.
Right.
It's even a simple word like helpful
Uh-huh.
takes on a different shade of meaning
It does.
in the business world.
Sure.
It becomes less about just being nice
Yeah.
and more about providing something specific
Right.
that helps achieve a goal.
That's a really good point.
So it's like saying, this podcast is helpful.
Yep.
Means we're aiming to give you knowledge
Yeah.
that you can actually use, something
Yeah.
that adds value to your life.
It adds value, yeah.
But before we get too ahead of ourselves,
Right.
let's take a step back
Yeah.
and answer the most basic question.
Yeah.
What exactly is business?
At its core,
Okay.
business is all about providing something
Mm-hmm.
that people want or need
Okay.
and are willing to pay for.
Okay.
It could be a physical product, like the
Mhm.
phone you're probably using to listen to this podcast right now,
Okay.
or it could be a service,
Yeah.
like getting your hair cut, your
Right.
car repaired.
So basically, anytime we buy something
Yes.
or pay someone to do something for us,
Uh-huh.
we're participating
Yeah,
in the world of business.
exactly.
Mm.
And the interesting thing is,
Yeah.
most businesses aren't just randomly providing things.
Okay.
They usually have a specific goal in mind.
Right.
And the most common one is making money. Or, as they say in the business world, generating profit.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you need money to keep things running,
Uh-huh.
to pay employees, buy materials, all that stuff.
Right.
But goals aren't just for businesses, right?
Absolutely not.
We all have goals in our personal lives too.
Absolutely. Setting goals
Yeah.
is a fundamental part of being human.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Uh-huh.
Whether you're trying to learn a new language,
Right.
travel to a new country, or even just get fit,
Yeah.
having a clear goal helps you
Yeah.
focus your efforts
Right.
and measure your progress.
So we've got our goal.
Okay.
Now how do we get there?
Uh-huh.
That's where the idea of strategy comes in, right?
Right, exactly. A strategy is like a roadmap.
Okay.
It's a plan of action
Right.
to reach your desired destination.
Okay.
And within the business world, there are all sorts of strategies.
Uh-huh.
But two of the most important ones
Okay.
are marketing strategy
Okay.
and sales strategy.
Ooh, those sound important. Tell me more.
Well, imagine you've invented a fantastic new gadget.
Okay.
Now you need to tell people about it.
Right.
That's where marketing comes in.
Okay.
A marketing strategy
Yeah.
is all about how you get the word out,
Uh-huh.
how you capture people's attention,
Right.
and make them interested in what you're selling.
Okay.
Think of those clever social media ads
Yeah.
that seem to know exactly what you've been browsing online.
Right. Right.
That's marketing strategy in action.
So they're watching us.
They are.
That's kind of creepy, but also kind of smart.
It is kind of creepy,
Yeah.
but it's effective.
It is. It is. It's effective.
And then once you've got people interested,
Yeah.
you need to actually convince them
Right.
to buy your amazing gadget.
Okay.
That's where sales strategy comes in.
All right.
It's about highlighting the value of your product,
Uh-huh.
showing how it solves a problem
Okay.
or makes life better.
Right.
Think of those limited time offers
Yeah.
or bundle deals that make you feel like you're getting a great bargain.
Yeah.
Those are sales tactics
Okay.
designed to nudge you
Right.
towards making a purchase.
Wow. This is making me realize
Uh-huh.
that we actually use these kinds of strategies in our personal lives too.
You do.
Like if I'm trying to convince my family to go on a camping trip,
Right.
I might show them pictures of beautiful campsites
Right.
or talk about all the fun activities we can do.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a marketing strategy,
It absolutely is.
isn't it?
You've identified your goal,
Right.
a fun family camping trip,
Yeah.
and you're coming up with a plan
Yeah.
to achieve it.
Right.
And just like in the business world,
Yeah.
a well thought out strategy
Yeah.
can make all the difference.
Okay. So we've got our goals, our strategies,
Okay.
but what about the actual day-to-day running of a business?
Right.
I'm guessing finance
Yeah.
and management play a big role here.
There are definitely the backbone of any successful operation. Let's start with finance.
Okay.
Finance is all about managing money,
Okay.
making sure there's enough to cover expenses,
Right.
invest in growth, and hopefully generate that profit.
Okay.
We talked about earlier.
Yeah.
It involves things like budgeting,
Yeah.
forecasting,
Right.
and making smart financial decisions.
It sounds complicated.
It can be,
Okay.
but here's the thing.
Yeah?
Financial management isn't just for big corporations.
Oh, okay.
It's something we all do
Right.
in our daily lives.
Okay.
Think about creating a personal budget,
Yeah.
saving for a vacation,
Right.
or even just deciding how to spend your weekend.
Okay.
These are all financial decisions that
Yeah.
require
Yeah.
careful thought and planning.
So being mindful of my spending habits now
Yes,
is actually good practice for the future,
it is.
whether I end up running a business or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's management,
All right. Managed.
which is all about organizing and coordinating
Oh,
people and resources
okay.
to achieve goals.
Okay.
It's about setting clear expectations,
Right.
delegating tasks,
Right.
and making sure everyone is working together effectively.
That sounds a lot like what parents do, honestly.
It does, doesn't it?
Juggling schedules, organizing activities,
Mm-hmm.
making sure everyone gets where that they need to be on time.
Yeah,
It's like running a mini business.
you're absolutely right.
Right.
Good management skills
Yeah.
are valuable
Yeah.
in so many areas of life.
Right.
Whether you're leading a team at work,
Right.
organizing a community event,
Uh-huh.
or just managing your own to-do list.
Yeah.
It's about being efficient,
Right.
communicating clearly,
Right.
and making things run smoothly.
Okay. So we've got our finances in order.
Okay.
Our team's working together.
Mm-hmm.
But in today's fast-paced world, businesses can't just sit back and relax, right?
No.
They need to keep evolving,
Correct.
coming up with new ideas. Is that where innovation comes in?
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Innovation is all about coming up with new and better ways of doing things.
Right.
It's about developing new products and services,
Yeah.
improving existing ones,
Yeah.
and finding creative solutions to problems.
Right.
In today's competitive market,
Right.
businesses need to constantly innovate
Yeah.
to stay ahead of the game.
So it's not just about having a brilliant idea.
It's not.
It's about putting that idea into action.
Right.
Making it a reality
Yes.
that can benefit the business.
Exactly. And alongside innovation
Yeah.
comes the need to be constantly on the lookout
Right.
for opportunities.
Opportunities.
Okay, these are those moments
Yeah.
when circumstances align
Okay.
and create the potential for growth or advancement.
So it's about keeping your eyes open, spotting those trends and shifts in the market,
Yes,
and being ready to seize the moment when it arises.
precisely. It's about being proactive and adaptable, not being afraid to step outside your comfort zone
Right.
and try new things.
This makes me think about my own life.
Uh-huh.
Am I really taking advantage
Yeah,
of all the opportunities that come my way?
right.
Maybe I should be more open to new experiences
Yeah.
or willing to take calculated risks.
That's interesting because what's fascinating is
Mhm.
that this mindset of seeking opportunities and embracing innovation
Yeah.
isn't just for entrepreneurs or CEOs.
Okay.
It's a valuable approach for anyone who
Right.
wants to learn,
Yeah.
grow,
Yeah.
and make the most of their potential.
Right.
Think about areas in your own life
Yeah.
where you might be overlooking opportunities
Uh-huh.
to expand your knowledge
Right.
or challenge yourself.
That's a great point. Sometimes we get so caught up in our routine
Yes.
that we forget to look around and see what else is out there.
Right.
But even the most innovative businesses
Mm-hmm.
face setbacks.
Right.
They do.
I know
Every idea is a winner.
Yeah.
And sometimes things just don't go according to plan.
Right.
How do businesses deal with those inevitable challenges?
Challenges are a part of life.
Right.
Whether you're running a business
Mm.
or just navigating your own personal journey.
Right.
But what separates successful businesses
Nope.
and individuals
Mhm.
is their ability
Yeah.
to find solutions.
Solutions.
It's about having a problem-solving mindset,
Right.
not giving up when things get tough,
Mhm.
but instead analyzing the situation
Yeah.
and coming up with creative ways to overcome obstacles.
So it's not about avoiding challenges altogether.
It's not.
It's about seeing them as opportunities to learn,
right.
adapt,
Yeah.
and grow.
Yes.
Kind of like that saying,
Yeah.
what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Exactly.
Right.
Think of it this way.
Okay.
A business might be facing declining sales.
Uh-huh.
That's a challenge for sure.
Right.
But instead of panicking,
Yeah.
they can analyze the situation, figure out why sales are down,
Uh-huh.
Maybe their marketing isn't effective,
Right.
or their product isn't meeting current needs.
Okay.
And then they can come up with a solution,
Right.
like revamping their marketing strategy
Okay.
or developing a new product line.
So it's about turning a negative into a positive,
Yes,
using those challenges as fuel for
Mm.
innovation and improvement.
that's the spirit.
Right.
And this problem-solving mindset
Yeah.
is something we can all benefit from
Oh.
cultivating in our own lives,
Right.
whether it's a conflict at work,
Okay.
a personal setback,
Right.
or even just figuring out how to fix a leaky faucet.
Okay.
Approaching challenges with a proactive and resourceful attitude
Right.
can make all the difference.
This makes me realize that maybe I should reframe how I think about challenges.
Yeah.
Instead of getting discouraged, I should see them as puzzles to be solved,
Yeah.
opportunities to test my problem-solving skills.
That's a fantastic takeaway.
Yeah.
Because in the grand scheme of things,
Yeah.
it's not about avoiding challenges altogether.
Mm-hmm.
It's about how we respond to them
Right.
and what we learn from them.
That's a good point.
We've talked about how businesses navigate challenges.
Right.
But what about when they need to work together?
Okay.
I'm guessing that involves a lot of agreements
Yeah.
and clear communication.
You're absolutely right. In the business world, collaboration is key.
Yes.
And that often means forming agreements
Right.
or partnerships to achieve shared goals.
Mm-hmm.
These agreements could be formal contracts
Yeah.
or more informal understandings.
Right.
But the essential thing is that everyone involved
Yeah.
is on the same page
Exactly.
and working towards a common objective.
Working together.
So it's like a team sport.
It is.
Everyone has their role to play,
Right.
but they need to coordinate their efforts
Yeah.
and communicate effectively to succeed.
That's a great analogy.
Right.
And good communication is vital, not just between businesses,
Uh-huh.
but also within a business itself,
Okay.
whether it's between departments,
Yes.
teams,
Yeah.
or individual employees.
Well.
Clear and open communication is essential to ensure everyone is working towards the same goals,
Yep.
and that any potential issues or concerns are addressed promptly.
I can imagine that can be tricky sometimes,
It can.
especially in large organizations.
Yeah.
It's like that game of telephone
Right.
where the message gets distorted
Yeah.
as it passes from person to person.
It can definitely be a challenge.
Right.
But that's why effective communication involves not just speaking clearly,
Right.
but also listening actively,
Uh-huh.
seeking clarification when needed,
Right.
and fostering a culture where people feel comfortable sharing their ideas
Yeah.
and concerns.
And remember, it's not just about conveying information.
That's right.
It's also about building trust
Yeah.
and creating a sense of shared purpose.
A sense of teamwork.
This reminds me of those team building exercises
Uh-huh.
where you have to work together to solve a problem
Yeah.
or complete a task.
Great.
It really highlights how crucial communication and collaboration are for success.
Absolutely. And those principles apply not just in the workplace, but in any group setting,
Right.
whether it's a family,
Okay.
a community organization,
Okay.
or even a group of friends planning a trip.
Yeah.
The ability to communicate effectively,
Right.
listen to different perspectives,
Mhm.
and work together towards a shared goal
Right.
is invaluable in any aspect of life.
So we've got our teams communicating,
Okay.
our agreements in place.
Yeah.
And we're ready to make some big decisions.
All right.
But I'm guessing businesses don't just flip a coin when faced with a choice.
No, they don't.
They probably rely on careful analysis to guide their actions, right?
You're exactly right.
Okay.
In the business world,
Mm.
decisions are often made based on
Right.
data, research,
Yeah.
and a thorough consideration of the potential consequences.
Right.
Analysis involves breaking down complex information,
Okay.
identifying patterns and trends,
Yeah.
and using that knowledge to make informed choices
Okay.
that will hopefully lead to positive outcomes.
It's like being a detective, gathering clues and piecing together the evidence
Exactly.
to solve a case.
Yeah.
Only in this case, the case might be deciding whether to launch a new product
Right.
or expand into a new market.
It's a very apt comparison.
Right.
For instance, a business might analyze sales data
Okay.
to understand which products are performing well and which are lagging behind.
Okay.
They might conduct market research
Right.
to assess consumer demand for a new product or service.
Right.
Or they might analyze their competitors
Right.
to understand their strengths and weaknesses
Right.
and identify opportunities to gain a competitive advantage.
That makes sense. It's about using information strategically to minimize risk. Yes.
And maximize the chances of success.
That's right.
But isn't there also an element of intuition and gut feeling
There certainly can be.
involved in decision-making?
Experienced business leaders often
Yeah.
develop a keen sense of intuition
Right.
that guides their decisions.
Okay.
But even intuition is often informed by
Right.
years of experience,
Right.
knowledge of the market,
Right.
and an understanding of human behavior.
So it's like a combination of data-driven analysis
Yes,
and that gut feeling that
Right.
comes from having seen a lot and learned a lot along the way.
precisely.
Okay.
And it's important to remember
Yeah.
that even with the most thorough analysis,
Right.
there's always an element of uncertainty in business.
Okay.
Markets can shift,
Uh-huh.
consumer preferences can change,
Right.
and unforeseen challenges can arise.
So it's about being adaptable,
Yes.
ready to adjust course when needed,
Uh-huh.
and always learning from both successes and setbacks.
Speaking of
Mhm.
success, I think a big part of what makes a business stand out
Yes.
is its brand.
Right.
That's what creates an identity,
Yeah.
a personality
Right.
that resonates with customers.
You hit on a crucial aspect of business success.
Okay.
A brand is so much more than just a logo
Okay.
or a catchy slogan.
Right.
It's the sum total of all the impressions and associations that
Right.
people have with a company or product.
Right.
It's about the feelings and emotions that a brand evokes,
Okay.
the story it tells,
Yeah.
and the values it represents.
It's about creating an emotional connection with customers,
Yes.
making them feel something
Right.
when they interact with your brand.
Yeah.
Like when I see the Apple logo,
Uh-huh.
I instantly think of sleek design,
Right.
innovation,
Yeah.
and a certain level of coolness.
Right. A feeling.
That's branding at its finest, isn't it?
You nailed it.
Right.
Strong brands evoke feelings,
Uh-huh.
tell stories, and create a sense of loyalty among their customers.
Right.
Think about Coca-Cola, for example.
Go.
Their brand is associated with happiness,
Okay.
nostalgia,
Okay.
and shared experiences.
Uh-huh.
That's something that goes far beyond the actual taste of their product.
It's amazing how much power a brand can have.
It really is.
And I'm guessing businesses invest a lot of
They do.
time, effort,
Okay.
and money into cultivating their brand identity.
Absolutely.
Right.
Building a strong brand
Yeah.
is a long-term investment
Uh-huh.
that involves careful consideration of everything,
Right.
from the company's name and logo
Right.
to its marketing messages,
Uh-huh.
customer service,
Right.
and even the way its employees interact
Yeah.
with the public.
So it's about consistency, authenticity,
It is.
and creating a memorable experience for customers
Right.
at every touch point.
At every point of contact.
And I bet it's not a one and done thing.
No, it's not.
Businesses need to constantly adapt and evolve their brand
They do.
to stay relevant
Uh-huh.
and appeal to their target audience.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
In today's dynamic marketplace,
Yeah.
brands can't afford to be static.
Right.
They need to be constantly
Yep.
listening to their customers,
Right.
monitoring trends, and adjusting their strategies
Okay.
to stay ahead of the curve.
This makes me think about my own personal brand,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Right.
How I present myself,
Uh-huh.
the values I project,
Yeah.
the way I interact with others.
Right.
It all contributes to the overall impression I make.
It does.
Maybe I should be more mindful of that.
What's fascinating is that
Yeah.
whether we realize it or not,
Right.
we're all constantly building and refining our
Oh.
own personal brands.
Okay.
The choices we make,
Mm-hmm.
the way we communicate,
Right.
the actions we take,
Yeah.
all contribute to the image we
Right.
project to the world.
Yeah.
And just like in the business world,
Right.
being intentional and strategic about our personal brand
Yeah.
can have a significant impact
Okay.
on our success and fulfillment in life.
That's an incredibly empowering thought.
It is, isn't it?
It means we have more control over how we're perceived
Right.
than we might realize.
Yeah.
But before we get too deep into personal branding,
Okay.
let's circle back to those phrasal verbs
All right.
you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
They can be tricky,
Uh-huh.
but I think they add a certain flavor to business speak, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Right.
Phrasal verbs are a fascinating aspect
Yeah.
of the English language.
Yeah.
And they're particularly prevalent
Yeah.
in informal business settings.
Right.
They add nuance and color to our communication.
Okay.
And mastering them can make you sound more confident and fluent
Right.
in professional contexts.
Okay, let's do a quick phrasal verbs spotlight.
Right.
The first one we encountered
Yeah.
was look for, as in businesses need to constantly look for new opportunities.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like being a treasure hunter,
Right.
always searching for that next big thing.
That's a great way to think about it.
Right.
It's about being proactive, keeping your eyes open,
Right.
and actively seeking out
Uh-huh.
Those moments where you can make a difference.
Okay.
Or capitalize on a new trend.
Then we had bring up,
Okay.
as in don't be afraid to bring up new issues or concerns.
Right.
It's about initiating a conversation,
Yeah.
putting something on the table for discussion.
Precisely. And in a business setting,
Yeah.
being able to bring up potentially sensitive or difficult topics
Right.
in a constructive and respectful way
Yeah.
is a valuable communication skill.
Yeah.
It's about creating an open and honest dialogue
Right.
where everyone feels comfortable sharing their thoughts and ideas.
Take over.
Okay.
As in, the new manager is taking over the marketing department
Mm-hmm.
is a bit more assertive, isn't it? It implies assuming control or responsibility
Yes.
for something.
And in a business context, takeover can have
Okay.
both positive and negative connotations.
Right.
It can imply leadership and initiative,
Yeah.
but it can also suggest a forceful
Right.
or even hostile takeover.
Okay.
The context is key to understanding the intended meaning.
Call off.
Right.
As in, we had to call off the meeting due to unforeseen circumstances.
Oh.
Is all about cancellation,
Yeah,
putting a stop to something.
exactly. And in business,
Yeah.
being able to make those tough decisions
Uh-huh.
to cancel or postpone projects or events
Right.
is sometimes necessary,
Right.
even if it's disappointing.
Right.
It's about being adaptable,
Uh-huh.
prioritizing what's most important,
Right.
and responding effectively to changing circumstances.
And finally, we had set up,
Okay.
as in they're setting up a new branch in London.
Right.
It implies creating something new,
Yeah.
establishing a foundation
Yeah. Uh-huh.
for something to grow and flourish.
A very fitting way to end our phrasal verb exploration.
Right.
Because at the heart of business
Yeah.
is this drive
Yeah.
to create, innovate, and
Yeah.
build something that has value and contributes to the world.
And these phrasal verbs are so versatile.
They are.
I'm going to try to sprinkle them into my conversations more often.
Good.
It's like adding a little spice to my language.
I encourage you to do so.
Right.
Embracing those nuances of language
Yeah.
can make you a more effective communicator, both in professional and personal settings.
Right.
And speaking of adding spice,
Okay. Yeah.
let's talk about how businesses use language
Uh-huh.
to create those memorable impressions.
Right.
Think about those catchy slogans
Okay.
or taglines that get stuck in your head.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of strategy behind those seemingly simple phrases.
Oh, absolutely. Like Nike's Just Do It.
Yes.
It's so motivational
It is.
and instantly recognizable.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about selling shoes.
No.
It's about tapping into a feeling and aspiration.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
about connecting with consumers
Right.
on an emotional level,
Right.
creating an association between the brand
Uh-huh.
and a desired feeling or experience.
Okay.
And it's not just about slogans.
Right.
The language used in marketing materials, product descriptions,
Mhm.
even social media posts,
Okay.
all contribute to crafting
Right.
a brand's voice and personality.
It's like each piece of communication is a brushstroke,
Yes.
contributing to the overall masterpiece.
Yeah.
That is the brand's image.
That's a good way to put it.
But with so much noise out there,
Right.
how do businesses cut through the clutter
Yeah.
and get their message heard?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
And there's no one-size-fits-all answer.
Okay.
But some key elements include
Yeah.
understanding your target audience,
Right.
crafting a compelling narrative,
Okay.
and choosing the right channels to reach your customers.
So it's about knowing who you're talking to,
Yes.
telling a story that resonates with them,
Right.
and meeting them where they are,
Yeah.
whether that's on social media,
Uh-huh.
through email marketing,
Right.
or even good old-fashioned word of mouth.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And it's an ongoing process.
Okay.
Businesses need to be constantly monitoring their marketing efforts,
Uh-huh.
analyzing the data,
Right.
and making adjustments
Yeah.
to ensure their message is hitting the mark.
This makes me think about how we present ourselves
Uh-huh.
in different situations.
Right.
The way we talk to our friends
Yeah.
is probably different from how we talk to our boss.
Right. Exactly.
We adapt our communication style
We do.
to suit the audience and context.
That's a great observation.
Right.
We're all natural communicators in a sense.
Yeah.
We instinctively adjust our tone language
Right.
and even body language, depending on who we're interacting with and what we're trying to achieve.
So being aware of those subtle nuances of communication
Yes,
can make us more effective
it can.
in all areas of life, not just in the business world.
Absolutely.
Right.
And it's a skill that can be developed and honed over time.
Uh-huh.
The more we pay attention to how others communicate
Right.
and how our own communication is received,
Right.
the better we become at tailoring our message to achieve the desired impact.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
From the basic definition of business
Yeah.
to the power of branding.
Uh-huh.
We've explored a whole range of concepts and terms
Right.
that are essential for understanding this fascinating world.
Definitely.
But before we wrap up,
Okay.
I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier. The idea that business principles
Yes.
can be applied to our personal lives.
That's a key takeaway. I hope our listeners will ponder, because while we may not all be running companies
Right.
or negotiating million-dollar deals,
Right.
the skills and mindsets that are essential for success in business are equally valuable in our personal lives.
So whether we're setting goals for ourselves,
Yes.
managing our time and resources,
Uh-huh.
or communicating effectively with others,
Right.
those business smarts
Yeah,
can help us navigate the complexities of life
that's right.
and achieve our full potential.
Precisely.
Okay.
And it's not just about achieving external success. It's
Right.
also about cultivating those
Yeah.
inner qualities of resilience, adaptability,
Right.
and creative problem solving
Okay.
that allow us to thrive
Yeah.
amidst challenges and uncertainties.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like we're all entrepreneurs of our own lives,
Right.
shaping our destinies
Uh-huh.
and creating something meaningful along the way.
What's fascinating is that this entrepreneurial spirit,
Right.
this drive to create and innovate, isn't limited to the realm of business.
Right.
It's a fundamental human impulse that can be expressed in countless ways,
Right.
whether it's through artistic pursuits,
Okay.
community involvement, or simply finding creative solutions to everyday challenges.
So it's about embracing that mindset of possibility,
It is.
seeing opportunities where others might see obstacles,
Yes.
and never stopping learning and growing.
Exactly. Because at its core,
Yeah.
business, like life itself,
Right.
is a journey of discovery, growth,
Right.
and constant evolution.
Well said.
This has been an incredibly enlightening conversation.
Yeah, it has.
I feel like I have a
Yeah.
whole new perspective on the world of business
Yeah.
and how its principles can be applied to my own life.
I'm so glad to hear that.
I hope our listeners feel equally inspired
Yeah.
to embrace those business smarts
Uh,
and use them to create a more fulfilling and impactful life.
Before we sign off,
Yeah.
is there one final piece of advice you'd like to share with our listeners?
I would encourage everyone
Okay.
to cultivate a growth mindset,
Okay.
a belief that their abilities and intelligence
Uh,
can be developed through dedication and hard work.
right.
Embrace challenges as opportunities to learn and grow.
Okay.
Be curious,
Yeah.
ask questions,
Uh-huh.
and never stop seeking new knowledge and experiences.
That's fantastic advice.
It's a reminder that
Yeah.
we're all works in progress,
right.
constantly evolving
Yeah.
and striving to become the best versions of ourselves.
And that journey of growth and self-discovery is what makes life so fascinating and rewarding.
Well said.
It's interesting how the word networking
It is.
sometimes gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
It can conjure up images of awkward cocktail parties
Right.
and forced conversations where everyone's just trying to sell you something.
Yeah, that's true. But true networking is so much more than that.
Yeah.
It's not about collecting business cards or
Yeah.
making superficial connections.
Right.
It's about building genuine relationships with people
Uh-huh.
who share your interests, your values,
Okay.
or who can offer valuable insights and support.
It's about creating a community, a network of people you can rely on
Right.
for advice, encouragement, and collaboration.
Exactly. And it's not just about
Right.
what you can get from others.
Yeah.
It's also about what you can give.
Right. Okay.
Networking is a two-way street.
Right.
It's about reciprocity, about sharing your knowledge and expertise
Uh-huh.
and supporting others in their endeavors.
So it's like a win-win situation.
Yeah,
Everyone benefits from a strong network.
absolutely. When you connect with people
Right.
who are passionate and knowledgeable,
Yeah.
you expand your own horizons.
Right.
You learn new things,
Yeah.
you gain new perspectives,
Okay.
and you open yourself up
Right.
to new opportunities.
This makes me think about all the amazing people I've met through networking events
Right. Yeah.
or online communities.
Yeah.
People who have inspired me,
Yeah.
challenged me,
Uh-huh.
and helped me grow both personally and professionally.
It's amazing how those chance encounters can sometimes lead to lifelong friendships or valuable collaborations.
It's true. You never know where a simple conversation might lead.
You don't.
That's why it's so important to be open.
It is.
To connecting with new people.
Yeah.
Even if you're an introvert or feel uncomfortable in social situations, there are ways to network that feel authentic and natural.
There are.
What are some tips for people who might be hesitant to put themselves out there?
Well, first of all, remember that everyone feels a little awkward or shy sometimes.
Right.
It's perfectly normal.
Okay.
Just try to relax, be yourself, and focus on building genuine connections.
Okay.
Don't approach networking with a transactional mindset.
Right, okay.
Instead, focus on finding common ground, building rapport, and getting to know people on a personal level.
That's great advice.
It's about building relationships.
Right.
Not just collecting contacts.
Exactly.
And don't be afraid to share your own story.
Okay.
Your passions, your expertise.
Right.
People are naturally drawn
to
those who are genuine and enthusiastic.
So it's not about bragging or trying to impress anyone.
No.
It's about sharing your authentic self.
Yeah.
And connecting with others who resonate with your energy.
Precisely. And remember that networking is an ongoing process.
Right.
It's not just about attending one event or sending a few emails.
Okay.
It's about nurturing those relationships over time.
Right.
Staying in touch. Checking in with people and offering support when you can.
It's like tending a garden.
It is.
You have to water those relationships and give them attention if you want them to flourish.
That's a beautiful analogy.
Right.
And just like a garden, a strong network
Right.
can provide you with nourishment, inspiration,
Yeah.
and a sense of belonging.
It's amazing how those connections can enrich our lives in so many ways.
It's true. And as we navigate the complexities of life and work, having a supportive network can make all the difference. Whether you're facing a challenge, celebrating a success, or simply looking for someone to bounce ideas off of, having people you can rely on can make the journey so much more enjoyable and rewarding.
This conversation has really inspired me to be more proactive about building my network.
Yeah.
I'm going to start by reaching out to some people I admire.
Okay.
And see if there's an opportunity to connect.
That's fantastic. And remember that networking doesn't have to be a chore.
Right.
It can be fun and fulfilling when you approach it with the right mindset.
Okay.
You can build meaningful relationships that will enrich your life for years to come.
Well said. On that note, I think it's time to wrap up this episode of English Podcast Flow.
All right.
We've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
From the basics of business language to the power of branding and the importance of networking.
Yes.
We've explored how these concepts can be applied, not just in the business world, but in all areas of life.
That's right.
We hope you've enjoyed this journey
I have.
into the world of business speak, and that you've gained some valuable insights and inspiration along the way.
I hope so.
Remember that even if you're not running a Fortune 500 company, these principles can help you achieve your goals, build meaningful relationships, and create a more fulfilling and impactful life.
That's what it's all about.
So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep. Until next time.
If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. It really helps our channel grow and reach more English learners like you. By subscribing, you'll never miss a new episode, and by liking the video, you're letting us know you want more helpful content. Thank you for your support. It means so much to us.